powerful rainstorms are drenching Southern California and forcing thousands to evacuate. We have details on who is being affected.
Oprah's coming to USC. Find out where she'll be speaking and how students are reacting.
Plus, Sam Darnold threw dozens of passes in front of hundreds of NFL scouts and executives for the first time. More on USC's Pro Day coming up. Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
The biggest storm of the year is forcing thousands of families living in areas affected by fires to evacuate their homes.
Plus, the downpour in downtown LA brought flooding and plenty of puddles to USC. And the storm isn't close to over. The heaviest rain is expected tonight and tomorrow. Good evening, I'm Leslie Ambris.
And I'm Taylor Edschel. We have reporters at the ready to give you all the details on how Southern California is bracing for the rain. But first, let's go to our weather anchor, Trevor Sohaki, for the latest on the storm. Trevor?
Thanks, Taylor, and you're right. If we look at the Doppler right here, we can see this atmospheric river that's flowing through, and this trend should continue into tonight and tomorrow to continue that heavy rain. Now, we've had over just half an inch of rain so far today, and that amount is not outside of the norm. But the rate of rain could reach up to 1 inch per hour, and that can cause flash floods. There was a flash flood warning earlier today, and another one will be in effect for the recent burn areas of LA County from tonight into early Friday morning. Now, in terms of total rainfall, we're looking at about 1 to 2 inches for the coast and valleys and 2 to 5 inches for the foothills and mountains. I'll have the rest of your forecast coming up later. Leslie, back to you.
Thanks, Trevor. Rain and flooding is slowing down not just drivers, but students on their way to class. Rain started falling in the USC area around 10 this morning and was steady until this afternoon. Ryan Thompson is live on campus. Ryan, it looks like things are starting to dry up.
That's right, Leslie. Definitely drying up for now, but I wouldn't put the rain gear away just yet. Definitely leave that umbrella within arm's reach over the next 2 days. And if you do have night classes tonight, or if you're venturing out at all, beware. The rain is expected to come back tonight just as strong. Earlier today, we saw students trying to dodge this downfall. It came on strong, estimations of 1 to 2 inches per hour, according to the National Weather Service. No major flooding to report, but a lot of overwhelmed drains and a lot of water here on campus, including the puddle behind me. Again, as I said, the sun is out now, but the rain is expected to come back tonight and to continue into tomorrow morning. So keep that weather gear within reach. You're going to need it definitely in the next 2 hours. Live outside the Student Union for Annenberg Media, I'm Ryan Thompson.
Thanks, Ryan. Evacuation orders in the foothills near Glendale and Burbank were canceled just minutes ago. People in the La Tuna Canyon area were ordered last night to evacuate by 6 tonight. Annenberg Media's Brittany Hope was there earlier today as residents were getting ready to leave.
Shoveling sand into burlap bags is the first line of defense for residents living near the La Tuna Canyon burn area. The largest storm of the season is hitting hard tonight, putting areas affected by recent fires in danger of potential mudslides. Homes and schools near La Tuna Canyon are lining their properties with sandbags provided by local fire stations. But for residents living on La Tuna Canyon Drive below burn areas, sandbags aren't enough.
I mean, we've never had it this bad before, never.
Jeanette has lived on La Tuna Canyon for nearly 40 years. She didn't feel comfortable talking on camera. Today, she evacuated her home and her dogs. While packing her car, she had to wrap her shoes in plastic bags.
The river was raging up there. I couldn't walk without getting all wet.
Jeanette isn't the only one who's packing her bags to avoid any mud flow that might come from that burn area behind me. Authorities say over 300 other households were told to evacuate tonight by 6 o'clock.
Have a plan, adhere to ready, set, go, have enough food and water, medical supplies.
The LAFD, LAPD, LA County Fire, and City Council gathered today to urge residents in threatened areas to do their part in maintaining their own safety. We need the public's cooperation in making sure that you heed the call for evacuation efforts, because you are jeopardizing our first responders if you are not Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez adds mudslides are unpredictable, so it's important to be extra cautious on the road. For Annenberg Media, I'm Brittany Hope.
More than 30,000 people in the Santa Barbara and Ventura area have been told to evacuate. The areas burned in the Thomas fire last December under a flash flood watch, and officials are worried the rain will cause mudslides. Mandatory evacuations were ordered in extreme risk areas near Montecito and Carpinteria. Residents were asked to leave by noon yesterday and won't be allowed back until tomorrow. Highway 1 is closed between San Luis Obispo and Monterey.
A mudslide is going to happen, but with the amount of rain that's predicted, we definitely think that it could happen. So that's why we asked people to evacuate a couple days ago, and if they're still there, we're asking them to still evacuate. We already have Caltrans in place, so they'll literally close every on and off ramp. Since people are already told to evacuate, they know that we're going to close everything if that does happen again.
California Highway Patrol is advising residents to take any valuables with them and set out sandbags to keep water away from their homes. The rain is affecting people in all parts of the city, including some of the most vulnerable on Skid Row. Annenberg Media's Aton Wallace went to a local shelter, providing a dry place for the homeless.
It's being called the storm of the year. And it's already impacting LA's homeless population.
It floods us out. You know what I mean? It's not cool.
Jonathan Fitzgerald says he's lived on Skid Row for the past decade. When the rain comes, he worries.
It started to rain here on Skid Row just a short 10 minutes ago, and as you can see, the area is already pretty wet. And as for Fitzgerald, well, he says even his shelter can only do so much.
It's gonna do damage regardless. It's gonna seep in on your tent, wherever you touched it at. You know what I mean? It ain't gotta be a used tent, it could be a brand new tent.
And that's why some shelters are staying open longer. The Midnight Mission is one of at least 10 shelters across the city offering dry refuge and free meals for anyone who needs.
While it's raining outside, the guests from our community are welcome to hang out in our dining hall as a winter shelter. And we also will double our dining hall as a winter shelter at night as well.
Veteran LA police officer Dion Joseph has patrolled the streets of LA for nearly 20 years. He says homeless people in other parts of the city want help, but on Skid Row, there's a different attitude.
They don't want to follow the rules of the shelter, so they say, forget it, I'm just going to stay on the street.
Fitzgerald says he'll stay put and do his best to stay dry.
I'll probably cover this up. You know what I mean? Try to make sure it don't get as wet as much as I can.
Hoping this shelter will be enough to help him ride out the storm. For Annenberg Media on Skid Row, I'm Aton Wallace.
The storm isn't over. The rain is expected to continue through tomorrow night. We'll have more details coming up in our 5-day forecast. And we have breaking news. Congressional bargainers just announced a bipartisan $1.3 trillion budget deal to go through the end of the fiscal year. Lawmakers have until midnight on Friday to approve the deal to avoid a third government shutdown of 2018. The deal is expected to pass.
Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg responded to the controversy over the use of data by a Trump-affiliated campaign research firm. Cambridge Analytica allegedly acquired the data from a quiz app developed by a college professor. The app collected information on likes of the user and the user's friends. In a statement, Zuckerberg said, quote, "I started Facebook, and at the end, I'm responsible for what happens on our platform. I'm serious about doing what it takes to protect our community. We will learn from this experience to secure our platform and make our community safer for everyone going forward." Facebook COO Sheryl Sandberg also released a statement, quote, "We know that this was a major violation of people's trust, and I deeply regret that we didn't do enough to deal with it. We have a responsibility to protect your data, and if we can't, then we don't deserve to serve you." Many have criticized Zuckerberg for not addressing the issue of data security much sooner.
This may be the beginning of the regulation of Facebook as an advertising platform to protect individuals' privacy, and that regulation could ultimately impact Facebook's bottom line depending on what comes out of it and their ability to monetize people's data.
Zuckerberg was interviewed for the first time about the controversy by CNN's Anderson Cooper. That interview is airing right now. We'll bring you any newsworthy developments.
The Austin bomber, who police say is responsible for 5 bombings this month in Austin, Texas, killed himself earlier today by setting off an explosive inside his car. Federal authorities found evidence of bomb-making materials inside Mark Anthony Condit's house. The ATF agent in charge of the investigation said authorities are continuing their investigation to ensure there are no other devices out in the public. LA City Council member Curran Price and the LAPD announced a $25,000 reward today, asking for information about the brutal attack on a South LA street vendor. Annenberg Media's Sonica Bargo spoke to the vendor's family.
The attack on street vendor Pedro Reyes has left his family shaken.
It's heartbreaking because you hear about these kind of things, you know, in the community. You just never expect it's going to happen to one of your own loved ones.
Today, Councilmember Curran Price stood with the family to announce a $25,000 reward for any information about the attackers.
We're gathered here to plead for the public to help the LAPD find these criminals.
Any little tidbit of information, they might think that it's not enough. But to be honest, anything will help us.
Pedro Reyes was setting up for work on Sunday when a group of men beat and robbed him, as you can see in this surveillance footage. He suffered a broken jaw and a cut throat. On Monday, Reyes spent 8 hours in surgery.
We got there, we saw him after, and we couldn't hold back tears. That could have been a prank. It's heartbreaking seeing somebody that you care about like that.
The brutal attack happened here on this street corner early Sunday morning. Today, Reyes' family says he is out of surgery and doing better, but faces a long road to recovery.
Once we get home behind closed doors, the depression for all of us really starts hitting us. We really start thinking about the horrific injuries he had.
Almendares and his family set up a GoFundMe page to help pay for Reyes' medical costs. It has raised over $150,000 in 3 days.
I don't think we'd be able to get through this without the community.
Reyes' family hopes the reward will encourage people to contact the LAPD with any information about the attack. For Annenberg Media, I'm Sonica Bargo.
Oprah will be coming to USC as Annenberg's commencement speaker, but not all students are happy with the new commencement policies.
More than 100 NFL scouts and executives were on campus for USC's Football Pro Day, a chance for draft-eligible players to show off in front of NFL teams.
Plus, Operation School Bell is making prom affordable for hundreds of underprivileged kids.
Guess what? I have some news for you. There's free food right there, junk food. You see that truck? Oh, jeez. It's a 2 Michelin star chef. All for free, ladies and gentlemen. All for free.
Here we have a panzanella with summer vegetables and pesto. Enjoy. How we doing?
Fantastic. So what do you got going on underneath that plate there?
This food is really about to be thrown away.
Yeah. Bro?
Is there something wrong with this food? Where did you get it from?
From farmers markets. They put aside the ugly vegetables and the ugly fruits.
Carrot top, soft avocados. It was all food that was going to be discarded.
Even the drink you had is made from like a little bruised peach. Did it taste a little bruised?
Great. It was good.
The average person throws away 24 pounds of food a month.
That's a lot.
Isn't that a lot? Go visit SaveTheFood.com for more information. Thank you. Junk food time!
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
The graduation speaker for USC Annenberg is so famous, everybody knows her by her first name, Oprah. USC announced the big news this afternoon.
I think it's so cool. My whole class got the email at the same time. Like literally everyone screamed. Everyone's so excited. I wish I was graduating this year. I'm so jealous.
I think that it's really awesome that she's going to come and speak. I'm really looking forward to what she has to say and how the crowd and everyone will be responding to her. It's pretty cool, actually.
She's going to own it.
Graduates will receive 4 guest tickets to the ceremony. They can also request to be on a wait list for 2 more. Students who do not need all 4 tickets are asked to donate them. The event starts at 11 a.m. at the Shrine Auditorium on May 11th. Students concerned with the limited number of tickets started a petition more than a week ago. They released this statement following today's announcement about Oprah. Quote, "We find the school's response to be a good compromise that allows our families and friends who've planned to attend and celebrate with us. We thank the USC Annenberg administration for listening to our concerns and recommendations, but in the future, we hope the school takes into consideration the diverse backgrounds of the student body and the multiple people helping us succeed when determining how many tickets are allocated per student. Fight on." Students have until April 15th to claim their tickets at uscannenberg.universitytickets.com. Additional family members and guests can watch the ceremony on big screens in both Annenberg buildings, and everyone is invited to attend an outdoor reception after the ceremony.
For now, former USC kicker Matt Boermeister won't be returning to USC. He was expelled last July after allegedly abusing his girlfriend Zoe Katz. Today, Judge Amy Hogue confirmed a decision she made in January that the football player was treated fairly by USC.
Well, our hopes are that objective and reasonable people will take a look at the evidence and find that Matt should be able to complete his USC degree. He's got 2 classes left, and restore his reputation and restore Zoe's reputation.
After today's hearing, Boermeister's attorney said his client will be taking the next few weeks to decide where to go from here. And it seems the rain may have let up a little bit for now, Taylor.
It definitely does, Leslie, but let's see if it's here to stay. Let's check in with our weather anchor, Trevor, for the forecast.
Well, you're right, guys. There was a little lull in the rain today, but expect much more rain tonight and especially all day tomorrow. If we take a look at our current conditions right now, it's 67 degrees and overcast, so getting ready for that big cold front coming in throughout tonight and tomorrow, like I said. Now, let's take a look at tomorrow's temperatures across the area. 35 degrees in Big Bear, and then 75 degrees in the Inland Empire. So expect that mid-70s, high 70s for the rest of that area. Now, moving up on the coast, going into the valley, it's 71 degrees, and then 63 degrees in Malibu along the coast. So again, low 70s, upper 60s for that area, but going down to the LA basin, 69 degrees at USC, 73 in Anaheim, 72 in Pasadena. So again, going to see some even temperatures across tomorrow, upper 60s, lower 70s, but going into the 5-day forecast, it's going to get colder. After that rain comes in, we're going to see a cold front. It's going to get into the low 60s with highs only in the upper 40s for the rest of the week. But the sun will come back after Friday, and you should see lots more sun going into next week. That's all for your forecast. Back to you guys at the desk.
Today, former Fox and Friends co-host Gretchen Carlson spoke at the Holt Lecture on empowering women in the workplace. Carlson helped change the conversation around sexual harassment in the workplace after she accused former Fox executive Roger Ailes of sexual harassment.
I realized I too was not alone. So I look at it more of, yep, these stories really suck. And these women aren't working in their professions anymore. And that's crazy. But what can I do to help them? And so one thing I've been advocating is, wouldn't it be great if all those companies that got rid of all those women actually hired them back?
Since Carlson was fired from Fox and Friends, she's been working to change the way people think and behave in today's modern work environment. So what's going on in the field today? A lot of people out there.
Oh, it was an exciting day for USC athletics. Today, scouts from all 32 NFL teams came to campus for USC's Pro Day. 13 Trojans from the 2017 squad took the field to show off their skills. And Darnold made his throwing debut in front of the NFL scouts. The USC women's lacrosse team is prepping to head up to NorCal and keep their 3-game win streak alive. Sports is back in 90 seconds.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back, and boy, today was an exciting day for Trojan athletics. Today was USC's Pro Day, a morning where NFL football scouts from across the nation come out to the track to watch the Trojans who have declared for the draft to show off their skills. To start things off, all eyes were on Sam Darnold, who proved he can perform rain or shine.
One of my first football experiences was playing mud football in the rain, so it was cool to come out here and throw one last time with the guys I've been throwing with for 4 years now, and be able to throw in the rain, tough conditions, and still connect. It was awesome.
Darnold made it look easy, like the rain didn't even faze him, despite only having 2 days of rain training. When he'd gotten word that they were thinking of rescheduling Pro Day because of the weather, he said there was no need to switch. He'd throw the ball regardless. And this was actually Darnold's first time throwing in front of the scouts, as he chose not to throw at the NFL Combine. His quarterback coach, Jordan Palmer, talked more about how he wanted to show off his arm on his own terms, on a day that the scouts could really get to know him.
When you go to the Combine, you get 15 minutes with a kid. 5 of it is introductions. You get 10 minutes to learn a kid. Sam is not the kid that you speed date. He's the kid you marry.
Now that's a quote. There were 18 athletes in total there, 13 of which are players who are just coming off of the USC roster. First of which would be Rasheem Green, who really showed off his speed despite his large size. Another player was Chris Hawkins, defensive back, who had a 4.6 40-yard dash. Another player was Uchenna Nwosu, 6'2", 248 pounds, who really showed that he has the speed to be a really powerful linebacker. And finally, Rojo did not participate as much as he'd hoped because of his hamstring injury, but he will be coming back for another practice. And it was certainly an exciting pro day for these 13 Trojans, as well as some returners like Daquan Hampton and Darius Clark of the basketball team, who actually came to try his hand at football. With all of this pro day talk, it only makes sense to assess how today's performances could impact the draft, which is just a little over a month away. Let's start off with the draft order. Keep in mind this order is determined by a team's overall record from the previous season. So with an 0-16 record, the Cleveland Browns claim that top spot with the #1 pick. The New York Giants take the 2nd spot. The New York Jets traded up for the 3rd spot. And the Cleveland Browns again have the 4th spot with the Denver Broncos last. And it seems like a quarterback is likely to be selected in the top 3 spots. There are predictions that Sam Darnold could go #1 to the Browns, Josh Rosen to the Giants, or they're perhaps thinking about switching with the Buffalo Bills, who are really interested in Rosen. That would leave Josh Allen to go to the New York Jets, and that could leave Saquon Barkley as a steal for the Cleveland Browns at the 4th spot. So some other Trojan hopefuls that could go in the draft include Sam Darnold for the #1 overall spot, hopefully. Then after that, there is Rasheem Green, Uchenna Nwosu, and Steven Mitchell Jr. also had a really exciting day today. Despite all eyes being on Darnold, there are rumblings throughout the pre-draft that Green could also go in the 1st round. So we'll just have to wait and see where they all land, but one thing's for sure, all eyes will remain on Darnold. Now let's jump back to USC's in-season sports. The women's lacrosse team is hoping to keep their 3-game win streak alive as they head north to face Cal on Friday. This marks the end of the first half of their Pac-12 schedule. The women of Troy are coming off yet another overtime victory, the 3rd of this season. The team now heads north to face the Cal Bears and the Stanford Cardinal in the hopes of continuing their 21 straight league wins. The Trojans fell 8-7 to the UC Irvine Anteaters last night. The Trojans resume Pac-12 play when they face off against Stanford this weekend. The Trojans have the potential to make a big statement if they can come out with wins against the 3rd-ranked Cardinal and crank out some more no-hitters.
Pretty amazing to be able to participate in a no-hitter, especially at the collegiate level. Each day you never really think about going in and that you're going to throw a no-hitter or someone's going to do it. But it was really cool. It hasn't happened in a long time here at USC, so it was really cool to be part of something special.
It's the beginning of the NCAA Men's Swimming and Diving Championships, which run through Saturday. Ranked 9th, the Trojans, led by a talented senior class, hope to have an impressive showing in Minneapolis. And finally, the 3rd-ranked women's water polo team hosts the 15th-ranked Princeton Tigers at home tomorrow at 5 p.m. The women of Troy have outscored opponents 167-55 through their first 14 games. Their dynamic mix of youth and experience with 5 All-Americans and 7 NCAA champions has proved to be the perfect recipe for success. And that's it for me.
Thank you so much for the sports update, Lauren.
Of course.
Prom season is almost here, and some lucky high schoolers are getting a helping hand.
Operation School Bell is making it affordable for hundreds of LA students. Find out how next.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
迷惑ボーイ。
ここはなんとかしなくちゃ。
スーパーカインドの交通機関案内。
When you ride on the bus or rail, don't eat popcorn, meat, or kale. Food can smell and it makes a mess. Keep LA Metro clean and fresh. Come along with me, let's go. It's time to ride on the Metro. When eating food causes problems, you know Super Kind will be there to solve them. Come along with me, let's go. It's time to ride on the Metro. When eating food causes problems, you know Super Kind will be there to solve them.
Prom season is exciting and expensive, but thanks to one local organization, 200 underprivileged girls will be able to go to their high school prom in style. Girls from 30 LAUSD schools will have their pick of free dresses, shoes, and accessories. You'll even get makeup and style tips from experts. All this thanks to volunteers from Operation School Bell. Oh, that's really cute, don't you guys think?
Yes, I love that.
Such a great idea.
Dreams come true.
Great program. Now, if only they expand it to tuxes as well, then I could be included in this, but yeah.
Maybe you should give them a call and give them
I will.
suggestions.
Will do.
Well, thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone here at Annenberg Media, I'm Taylor Etchell.
And I'm Leslie Ambris. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.